Hello and welcome to Clay to Candy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to the Halloween 2025 series. I am a huge fan of the Michaels Halloween decor section, but this year's section is not my speed with the witchy stuff. There's like these hot pink pillows and they have this good witch, bad witch thing going. I think it's because of the whole Wicked thing. I really like the idea of having some throw pillows, but those themes weren't exactly my style. Also, they're kind of pricey. I thought I'd do a dupe video using my Cricut, but you can easily translate these into doing hand cuts for them. So today we're going to be working on making a good witch, better witch pillow and these two awesome fall themed pillows that I have on my sides. So come on, let's do this. Make decals out of any material, any fabric material, so long as you can hit it with an iron and it doesn't melt. For these appliques, I've come up with these color combos. I'm going to be using this shimmery fabric as my background and using this plaid and this purple shimmery fabric as my decals, my witchy pillow, and then I have this color combo going on. I'm going to do a very traditional, very autumn inspired basic. So to get me started, I need to press some heat bond onto the back of the pieces that are going to become my decal, and I'm going to be running this through my Cricut to do the cuts for me. You can totally do this by hand. Put the heat bond on, you can print out paper templates and then hand cut, trace and hand cut. But since I have the Cricut, I might as well go ahead and use it. I'm going to prep my pieces that are going to be running through the Cricut with my heat bond. I only need a small section of this, which we know I can only do 12. Get my ruler. 12 is here. Mama, I knew this was gonna happen. Hey. Hey. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing stuff. Come on, I don't want to cut you. Okay, fine, I go measure this end, huh? And measure this other end. Looks like it's about 12. Thanks for cleaning yourself on the fabric I was using. Here's that. This is a piece of felt that I have down that I will be using for my heat set. Instead of an ironing board, I find that this works fairly well. I am using Heat Bond Ultra Hold. And I have done this type of thing where making applique using the Heat Bond Light. Ultra Bond is the heavy duty stuff, which is what this stuff is. I was never able to find this stuff on the roll. I had to buy this in the package to get the Ultra. If you are doing an applique and you don't want to deal with sewing, then you want the Ultra. If you're okay with sewing a reinforcement stitch, then you can get by using the Light Bond. But just keep in mind, it doesn't last that long through too many washings. I used the Light Bond for applique for a cat advent calendar for the numbers. After about maybe the 5th or 6th washing in the washing machine, the Light Bond wasn't strong enough to hold and the numbers started flaking off. Of course, it was a cat mat and the cats would like dig at things and pick at things. So in that case, I should have done the extra effort and reinforced those letters. But the Ultra Bond is much stronger. So if this is just for a decorative pillow that you're probably not going to be throwing through the washing machine much, you're just putting out during the holidays, and you don't want to go through the trouble of doing the sewing part of reinforcing the applique, you'll be fine probably with the Ultra Hold. Mama, we're busy and we have works to do. Come on now. I'm gonna move this. Move this. Okay. I'm gonna roll you back. I'm gonna work in this little corner since I have a fluff ball here taking up space. And I'm just going to cut a piece of this Heat Bond so that it fits. Is that good fabric? Yeah, it's good fabric, huh? You like that fabric? What Halloween video would be complete without a black cat? Ooh. So I'm gonna do this on the back side. I'm gonna avoid this edge because I don't want to stick it onto here, but as I'm working with cats, I also need to guard her from this. So I'm gonna heat set this to the back side. Best laid plan, stuck anyway. Oh, she moved. Yippee skippy. All right, I'm gonna repeat this process for my other applique for both purple witchy one and the traditional, probably gonna be a pumpkin flannels. So I worked on some files last night. Oh my God, you're so loud. I primarily use Adobe Suite, so I use a combination of Photoshop and Illustrator to do my photo editing and prep my files for whether I'm using the Cricut. Oh my God, the noise! Whether I'm using the Cricut or I'm using the Glowforge, I pretty much like to use both Photoshop and then Illustrator for my finalizing of my files, because I can make SVG files in Illustrator, which I find I get better results when it comes to cuts. The Cricut does have their inbound software, but it's very limited unless you are paying for the subscription. I'm not going to go through how I edit using those two softwares. I have done that in previous videos. Let's do, where is my Good Witch? There. Good Witch. Upload. All right, so I need to detach all of this, ungroup. To indicate different printouts, you can just simply change the colors of things, and then that'll just tell you, oh yeah, you know, this is going to be cut out of one thing, and that's going to be cut out of something else. And then I want to make sure that I keep the words together that need to be grouped together so that I'm not trying to match funky things all over the place. So I'm going to leave that and then group these and group these. I don't know how much the fabric is going to get me, but I did make sure that I pulled this into Illustrator and made this block into 11.5 by 11.5. So it should all fit within this. And my pillow sizes are going to be 16 by 16. It'll give me a nice little border around each side. Oh, and you did it anyway. No. Okay, cancel. You're going to have to attach you. So even though I grouped, you got to attach or it won't keep them together. I'm going to throw on my shimmery. And since this cut is like not the greatest, this is backed. So I have the paper backing down on the back side. I have just recently washed these mats. Hopefully I have a good tack. And since I have a bit of an overage, I'm just going to bring these down a little bit. Make sure I'm not wasting anything. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay. Ensure your machine is on. It sure is, my dear. It sure is. And we are gonna do browse materials. This is some weird apparel fabric, so I don't even know if there's gonna be a thing on here for it. It's not a cotton, not a denim, faux suede. You know what? Let's just pick the flannel since that's what we're gonna be using for the other one. And let's hope that she does all right. Now, the pillow that I saw at Michael's was a Good Witch, Bad Witch pillow, and it was in this like bright pink. I also am not a fan of the idea of a bad witch. My second design, it's a play on the whole Good Witch, Bad Witch thing. So I'm gonna be cutting up all my shapes. It's gonna take some time. I'm not gonna record all of this, and then we're gonna do some assembling of these pillows. The lettering for the witchy one, that one went totally fine, but it didn't go so well on the flannel. I was originally trying to cut these out on flannel or on felt, and the felt I was using was just too thick. So I've changed things up. For the lettering on the pumpkin ones, I am just gonna use HTV, my heat transfer vinyl. The lettering for these is just a little bit too small. So now I'm gonna spend some time cutting up my squares so that I can get ready for pressing. If you're going to use one of those pre-done pillows, you want to measure your pillow. They make those accent pillows that you can just buy the inserts for. Since I'm just going to be stuffing mine from scratch, I'm just going to determine based off of fabric to do the cut. I will take this down to even it out. Whatever the background is, the design that goes on top of it is of the different colored flannels. So for this one, I've got these pumpkins, This wording is "The autumn is calling, hallelujah." And so I think the back of this pillow will be this color. And then I'll flip flop the other way around for the other one, just to give it a little bit more interest, just because I'm not actually putting anything on the back. When staging your Halloween videos, folks, you should always make sure you have a black cat on hand. Free scene dressing. Mama, I know the fabric is out, but we're trying to make something. Whoa, whoa, you're gonna drop your big fabric. Go ahead and lay on that one. Oy, working with cats. If you have a tricky fabric, you'll want to use another fabric like a muslin or something over this just to make sure that you don't get any melting of your fabric. You can also use, if you have leftover like a big sheet of the peely stuff from the back of the fabric, you can use that as well. This transfer stuff should, whoa, okay. Well, now we know that that melt. This is supposed to be heat transfer ability. All right, so that's a no-no. So this transfer tape is supposed to withstand, but I guess not. I must have bought the wrong one. Well now, my bad. Make sure you're not like delirious and sick when you're doing this and melting crap, because that's basically where I'm at right now. Now I'm definitely gonna need to cover this with something. I think this may work for me. Let us try. Best to let the lettering cool before you try and pull off the stuff. This backing is from the, oh my god, I can't even freaking talk today. This is the backing that I peeled off of the heat bond. But I'm going to cut a piece of this muslin because I'm not liking it. These are how not to do these projects. In order to initially get it, you don't want to move the iron around too much. You just want to press it in one spot so that you don't accidentally move your lettering. If you're not using heat bond and you're using a similar brand, then for this step you definitely want to follow the directions that that brand suggests, just in case it's a little bit different than what I'm doing here. Sure, all of it's a little bit different than what I'm doing here. Clearly I'm out of it today. This worked. It worked. It worked though. It's on there. All right. I'm gonna repeat this similar process for the other fabric. I have this cushion that helps with the heat press from being too hot, so I'm gonna do the bottom, I guess, first. Just waiting on that heat press to do the heat up. And I will use the muslin I have been using to just cover over this. If I can freaking find what just happened to it. Ooh, yeah. I should go lay down, but I must get this work done. What the hell did I do with it? OMG. How could it have just disappeared? It literally, oh my god, it's right behind me. Oh boy. Heat press is only at 140 degrees. I'm waiting for it to get to 310. All right, she is ready. Here we go. So you basically just hold the heat press down where it is, and I have it set for 10 seconds. It'll buzz once she's done. Oop. This vinyl, I ordered it from Amazon, is fairly inexpensive. I get a huge pack of different colors, but I've noticed it requires sometimes a little bit hotter heat and for a little bit longer of time. I'm heating it up to 315 and gonna give it 15 seconds. There you go. You do want to give it a little bit of a firm press. Yeehaw! And she's on there. So for this one, I'm going to be following it up with a little bit of stitching around the edges of the pumpkin. It'll bring out the design of the pumpkin. I got myself fixed up here with a blanket stitch, one of my favorite stitches. I feel like it really gives it like a hand-stitched kind of quality to it. And I'm just gonna go around my pumpkin to reinforce the decal, make sure it gets really stuck on there, and also to give it a little bit of interest. You can see how it's coming along here with the stitching. I'm gonna continue to go around my pumpkin, the two of them. and then I'll be ready to do a stitch up of the pillow. Since this pillow has the HTV vinyl, I don't need to do any edging. I think that I'm okay with the way that this looks. And if I was to stitch in here, I think it would mess up this design. So I'm gonna leave this one as is. I can go ahead and get this one stitched together. Now the one thing I do want to pay attention to is where I'm going to be stuffing. I'm going to be leaving an opening, and in this case I'm going to make sure that this lands at the bottom as where my opening is going to go. Apologize for the noise. There is construction across the street. A house is having an addition put on. It might be worth making these as a slip case to go over an existing throw pillow that you have, rather than me stitching up this whole thing, because I am going to stitch this and make this a permanent pillow. But you could add in a zipper and then it becomes a slip cover, and you can just throw this over an existing pillow, or you could even put in some buttons. If you don't have a lot of storage space, you don't have to store big pillows. So now I've pinned up all the edges, and to indicate to me that I'm going to leave an opening, I am going to put in a little invisible ink marker, that disappearing ink marker, just to remind myself to stop there. Now this is inside out. I stacked the right sides together. This flannel doesn't really have a right side, but you know, the heat press is in the inside of this. And I'm going to just use a zigzag zipper stitch. Mima, you make it impossible to get any work done. Yes, you do. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I have no idea what I look like. I am still awfully sick. I went ahead and I reinforced my letters, basically any of the flannel, and then the hat and the broom on the opposite side. So it's time to stuff this one, and I am using my good old buffalo snow because it is one of the least expensive polyfill you can get if you can remember to get it once they mark down Christmas stuff. This one has some sparkle. I'm gonna give a little bit of extra. A little bit of extra. Mama, no one can see what's happening. Okay. It's not food, baby. What are you doing? Okay, to finish this off, I'm gonna be hand stitching this with a basic stitch. I got some pins. I'm gonna use these pins to hold it in place while I stitch. Yes, Mama. I know. I don't want to pop you with the pin. Okay, come here. Yeah, get your butt out of the picture. Come on. You like these pillows? Yeah? That's my fingers. Don't bite Mommy's fingers. Okay, hopefully you can see that I dropped a couple pins in, and I am going to hand stitch away using a basic needle. Come on, Mama. A needle and some black thread. Ow! Why do you keep biting me? You act like you never see me. We sleep in the same bed. You sleep on top of me half the night. Okay. And just gonna bury my knot. Basically, it's like tying a knot each time. So I just feed the needle through the loop at each end. I really like this stitch. I feel like it makes it a little bit more secure. Carry on till I finish sealing up the bottom. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And stick around for some more Halloween makes.